Is it recording? Record. Hello, everybody. I am back. It is Maya. This is the Red Moon Lounge, and I have an amazing interview for you guys today. I have the lovely Jennifer Nunez, and I would love to have her say hello and let everybody know who she is, because I am just so happy that I've come across her, and I'm so super excited to hear what she has to say today. So, Jennifer, hello, welcome to my show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, please.
Thank you for having me on. It's such a pleasure, and I really enjoy talking to you behind the scenes. My name is Jennifer. I am founder and headmistress of Rise Innerversity, which is a esoteric school for visionaries. What we specialize in is helping people learn how to navigate the personal, spiritual, and business development side of the awakening journey. Many of us tend to, when we go through the spiritual awakening, we know we have a greater purpose here and we want to start serving the collective, but many get stuck on exactly how to go about doing that. So, it's been one hell of a journey for me, and all the stuff that I have come across kind of got put into all together into a school, an online school. So any of the information that I come across, anything that I have learned pretty much goes on that platform, which is Rise University. And along the way, I have brought in a lot of technical skills. That's where the business development side of things come in. I'm kind of like the techie shaman. So even though I practice a lot of spiritual things that go hand in hand with my spiritual journey, learning how to develop a website, landing pages, packaging your service, funnel systems, autoresponders, social media maintenance, broadcasting, all sorts of different things, graphic design. I help teach people how to do that. Or I also have an agency where people can hire the agency to help do it for them. So that's pretty much what I do. But my main focus and why I am here is to really help other people birth their ideas into reality. So, what are you here for? How are you going to serve the collective with that? How do you want to serve the collective with that? And, different ways to go about doing it. So I'm well versed in different areas. I'm able to kind of give you a bird's eye view of, hey, this will work better than this, and so forth. So,
Wonderful. And which is very important to a lot of us star seeds, because, right now we're trying to figure out how to leave from the 3D and how to do the 5D, try to get to that 5D level. So, yeah, I think that this interview is going to be very helpful for a lot of people that get to see it, because we're, like I was talking to behind the scenes, we're ready to take it to the next level. And
mhm.
so we're like, okay, we're ready to level up. What's the next stages? And I'm so happy that we found you.
Well, the business side of things has been one of the biggest tools that I have utilized in my spiritual journey. Um, you know, a, a little bit about my background is I had my awakening, not quite sure what exactly happening, Kundalini awakening. I felt like I was unplugged from the system in some ways, but that kind of that happened in 2017. And it was I was I struggled with alcoholism for many, many years, and I feel like that's where they kind of kept me suppressed and stuck, was in that addiction cycle for many years. I have a lot of trauma growing up. Um, then went into drugs, alcohol, and spent 20 some odd years in the bottom of a bottle. And I needed a divine experience to actually wake me up to get my attention, and it like night and day. I went on a separate path. And the first thing I came across was mindfulness. So, mindfulness is at the core of all my teachings because that's where you become the alchemist. If you are mindful in the moment, you can see all of these things happen. This is where you can change the directions of how you react to emotions. You can see things at a higher level. You get to understand who you are. But the alchemist is always in the middle, and that's being mindful. And that takes great practice to get to that point. But this is where you can transmute all the emotions. So that was like one of the first healing modalities that I used to really start to go about my spiritual path and learn who I was. I've always been intuitive my whole life. I've always been into, esoteric knowledge, tarot cards, the woo woo. I don't classify myself as anything. I just, I gravitate to what I'm being called to and what resonates. So, after I went into mindfulness, I got my certification. I went into life coaching, neurolinguistics programming, cognitive behavior therapy, because I wanted to really figure out what kept me stuck on that hamster wheel and what was going on with me. But then when you go down this path, I've got starseed stuff coming in. I'm diving into the truth of what's going on in the world. You've got all this information. The next question that many of us ask is, how do I get this out to other people, or even to the extent that we want to exit out of the matrix, okay? And I spent many years in the 3D corporate world, so I have a bunch of learning experience under that, from, accounting to event planning to contract administration, construction, all this like building stuff. And the more I learn about me, the more it makes sense of why I earned a nickname a long time ago. They used to call me Junk Drawer Jennifer, because what's in the junk drawer? A little bit of everything. So, but you always go to the junk drawer when you need to find that one thing because it's in there. So I am a jack of all trades. So I had a lot of information, and I wanted to know, how do I package this and, help the collective? And here I started diving into like the online coaching space. So I had, in previous positions in the 3D world, I had helped build websites. I've always been kind of technical behind the scenes. I was, we're Generation X. We saw the technology come in. So I've always been
Yep.
able to ride that ride, and I've just expanded my knowledge along the journey. So most when you dive into building an online business or any type of business, because we are wanting to exit the 3D world into higher dimensions, but that also requires us to be compensated for our energy in the form of an energy exchange, which is currency, because that's what is currently providing us to live in this realm that we are creating. Or some of us have big projects, like you talked about a school. I have, downloads of me actually having a physical school one day. Well, that does require money. So, how do we do that? Well, when you step into that role, get ready, because if you're not working, healing your inner child, if you are not nurturing your divine feminine, and you're not letting your masculine run wild, you're going to encounter a bunch of stuff that comes up to the surface that you need to shift through. So I got laid off my job in 2019. I used to work at a country club, and I was the event coordinator. for the membership. So I was the membership relations coordinator. I did all the event planning, the member database. I was did all the enrolling for people, the newsletters, all the flyers. This just took care of the membership and what they needed. And when I got laid off in 2019, we all know what happened in the beginning of 2020. So I just never looked back, and it's been, full force of me supplementing my income by myself, really stepping into the entrepreneurial role. And through the journey while I was building my school, I was also doing freelance work on the side. So that's been the one thing that's constantly come back to me was the freelance, helping people build websites or funnel systems or setting up newsletters, the little bit of technical stuff. So I thought that I was only going to teach the spiritual and personal development side of stuff, but that's not the case. That's not in my mission file. I'm here to help other star seeds, visionaries, people who are here to make a change, figure out how to do that, how to get their information out so that it's impactful and people are clear on what it is that they do, what it is that they are here to serve, and how to go about doing that. And what I found on the journey is that not one template out there works for everybody. We're all a little bit different in how we're supposed to navigate this earthly plane. And so that's why I bring in a lot of astrology and human design into the aspect of it, because, you know, how you work energetic is different from how I work energetic. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. But the becoming an entrepreneur, I always say, is one of the biggest things that I have utilized in my spiritual journey, because I have always had to face myself. If I'm not where I think I should be, and I look at like what's keeping me back, then it's me. Or if I keep reoccurring the same type of client. For a while there, I was getting these clients that wouldn't pay me, or they would do the free consultation call, and then they wouldn't want to hire me for the services because I was giving away too much information in the call, or they were only joining the call to get the free stuff. And so I had to ask myself, why? Why is this always happening? Well, that was something inside of me that I needed to look at, that I needed to, dig deeper and shift and work through. And when I did, then what was happening on the outside started to shift as well. So when you do
Mm.
step into a bigger role, it does trigger a lot of stuff to come up inside of you. And that's why the personal and the spiritual development kind of went into the business development, because you're going to need a tool to utilize when that happens to you, stepping into your role.
Yes. Wow, yes. Oh my goodness. Can you talk a little bit about your school? I feel like I'm hoping you're the person that I've heard the this story. Are you the one that has like the school that you teach kids too?
No, no.
Oh,
Uh,
I heard somebody say that they had a spiritual school and they were teaching kids too. And I was like, oh, that is my dream. That is like down the line of, so here's my dream. Tell me if you think this is okay. So I was thinking, those old hotel motels that are like no one buys anymore. I found one in my state. It's abandoned and it's probably like super, super cheap to buy. I was thinking it'd be great to take one of them little old motel hotels and transform them into a small school, a spiritual school. You can each room could be a small classroom for a couple people or whatever. And you can get all these teachers who have something to bring to the table and they can teach. It could be a virtual class. It could be anything. Um, yeah, I'm trying to get off of the way, like my daughter goes to Montessori and I'm like getting ready to put her back in public school. But my dream is to homeschool and to take it to another level. And I did hear somebody mention they have a school for kids in California, I think it was. What state are you in
I'm
again?
in Texas, but I do know someone in California that may be near you that you're thinking of. I'm
I'm in
trying to.
Vermont.
Oh, you're in Vermont. Okay.
I'm in
Um,
Vermont, but they were in California doing this, and I was just like, California is always on some next level stuff. They're always doing different stuff.
yeah, I cannot remember her
But
name at the moment. It's
if you
escaping
remember
me,
it,
but
send
I'll
it to
send
me.
you her
Send
information.
info.
There are a couple of people that I know that are doing that. And your download about taking abandoned buildings, that's been in my download too. And I've actually seen one other person say something similar, and I am so happy to hear that, because just something that I have learned about and you too, you're off grid. So I know y'all are building y'all's little homestead. Building is not the same as what it used to be. And
Right.
wood material, they don't, it's not the same quality. It's gotten expensive. And when you get into like restoration of these old buildings that are abandoned, no one's doing anything with. If you take them and turn them into schools, a lot of those buildings will stand longer than the current structures that they are building nowadays, because the material is not as uh
Cheap.
it's not structurally sound as it was way back when they were building it. But that's my dream too. I love Victorian homes, and
Yes.
I love
Mm.
Victorian mansions, and I would love to have one that has a huge library in it and has a conservatory where in a greenhouse and everything in it, and just make it
Yes.
into like each room a different. It's not even just for schools. You could do a whole
Right.
healing hospital right there, like a doctor's office. You got a shaman in one office, you got a Reiki master, you got someone doing something with
The
frequency in this
QHT.
room. Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
exactly, in all these different rooms. Um,
Yes.
I do see that that's going to happen with
Yes.
in the future.
Hoping and
That's
praying. I'm hoping and praying. I got 5 acres here that I can turn into a healing center. And my husband does building. So I'm like, well, can you build me some little tiny houses? That way, I was thinking I could have for each house, I could have 5 people, 5 practitioners, and they can have an acre to do whatever they need to do at the time. And they would rent it out or whatever. It would be for like I don't know. I don't know. It was just an idea. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do that. So we'll see what happens in a couple of years from now, right?
Well, that's an excellent way for you to have the land that you have now start to make a profit for you, because there are people out there that are looking to get out of the city. They don't quite
Hmm.
have the money to buy their own land just yet, or they may not even know they fully want to do it until they experience it, but they will totally rent from you for a year. So I help another couple who bought land, and on one side they are putting in the domes, and they're going to rent them out for Airbnb, because then therefore they have a residual income that's going to help support the property. Because a lot of people, what I see just looking into the intentional communities, I don't, it's a great idea. What I learned through recovery was to roll the tape through, okay? When you're building something. There's been a lot of people out there successful in doing intentional communities because they're organized and they have their stuff together. And then you have intentional communities that are not quite working out. And some people may look at like, oh, you're just trying to make a profit. Well, until we can get to a point in humanity that we no longer need the currency and we're going back to how we used to, then we can get out of that mentality. But I don't quite see that happening anytime soon just yet. That's what we are striving to build to. But
Right.
for us to actually have these schools, to have land and put a center on, and to make, come together and build something that will help the collective, it does require us to have some sort of fundage. So,
Right.
it's great ideas to, when you do have something and you're owning it, like, even if you just buy land right nowadays, put something on there that's going to make you income, so that you can help pay off the land. Whether that's, that could be with an Airbnb, that could be with farming, that could be with homesteading. There's multiple different ways out there to do that. And some people are even doing the online coaching thing when it comes to that. You've got permaculture groups, you have people on how to do canning, let's do
Yeah.
gardening, all sorts of different things. And they have
Yeah.
learned to start to advertise their services online. And I gravitate to that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So I
I
love to
want to
see
know
that
how
happening.
to. Yes, I want to learn. My kid's grandmother, she lives on a intentional community commune in Maui, and she used to live on one. It was Charles Lunenburg's granddaughter, and I got to meet her. She lived right there on the property, and you see a lot of these big people. Woody Nelson, the guy from White Man Can't Jump. Is that his name?
Woody
No.
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. He lives there. Him and his wife. We see them a lot. So you see a lot of people on Maui, trying to just live a normal life. But they live in these places where people just come and they work off the land. They farm. They bring whatever it is that they have. They bring it to the table. You have all these people that want to experience this. And I had no idea. Have you ever heard of woofing?
No.
Woofing. It's
Well,
I think it's Woofing, I believe it is, but it's basically I believe it's worldwide, and you can say you want to travel but you don't have a whole lot of money. Well, you
hmm.
can go to these intentional communities that are organic farms, and you go and you stay on the farm, and it's like you just work the farm for, 20 hours a week, and you get room and board and food. And it's my husband did this when before he met me. He would travel, they would do woofing, and I mean I don't know if it's a hit or miss, but I mean it could have been back then. Nowadays it's probably more, more structured, like. But yeah, you never heard of woofing. You should look into it. Not that
I've
you would want to
heard.
do it, but it could be. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I never knew that that was the terminology for it. I'm familiar with what, I've seen a couple of people do that. Um, I have my baby girls,
There's a
so,
website.
um,
Yeah,
there's a
there's a
website?
website called Woofing. Yeah, I believe it's Woofing. I've looked at it a couple times, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I didn't even know it existed. And apparently this is what a lot of people do. Because when I was in Maui, I met all these people traveling and they had like no money. I'm like, how do you guys do it? They're like, we just go. I'm like, I need a little
Okay.
more security than that.
That is interesting. I will definitely have to look into that a little bit more. I didn't know about that. I know I had come across a website a while back about different intentional communities. Someone has now created a database that you can go and list your information on if you're building an intentional community, and other people can look at it. And some of them are They're really interesting, and they're for all different types of people. So if you are a hippie base, you can find an intentional community. And even if you are a corporate person that may not want to, like, you're still going to work in a big city, but you don't want to live near the big city, you can find a community that's something along the lines of like what you're looking for, but the community itself will have like a community garden. It'll have like a community center, and it's not like an HOA neighborhood, but it's an actual, most people have like tiny homes in it, stuff like that. But um I like that I'm starting to see stuff like this and people getting similar downloads to me happening in the collective, because then that tells us that we are on the right path, that we're here to make those big changes. I always felt like I was the paver.
The pave the road for
Yep.
everybody.
Yeah, we're the cleanup crew, and we're gonna help lay foundations for future generations to start
Oh,
thriving on.
the 144,000 light workers. I asked Archangel Michael, I was like, what does that even mean though? Like, what does that mean? And he said, you will be the kings and the queens of the land when the change comes. You will be here to teach the people that weren't listening, running around. You will teach them the way because they didn't listen before. So we're doing it now, trying to teach people, trying to talk to people. And they're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. But oh my goodness, I just keep saying, I'm not here to save everybody. I'm not here to save. They told me not everybody here is human. You're not here to save everybody. You're only
Yeah, I
here to save
know.
chosen ones, which
Yes.
aren't like, yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But um, yeah, so I wanted to know about your spiritual school, your university. That is the coolest thing. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that had the download of doing a school, because when they gave me it, I was like, now you're really making me laugh. Like, you want me to do something, you want me to teach people, people don't listen to me, my voice is gonna trigger them, like, and sure enough, I'm doing it. And it's like something takes over me and just makes me do it. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, but I don't want to do this. And they're like, no, just go, you're fine. And so I had a talk with my guides, and they said, just when you think you're comfortable and that you've done enough, be prepared. You got a whole lot more coming there. And it's funny because I'm constantly getting downloads, right, of what to do. And I know, like, Dawn must think I'm absolutely batshit crazy because I'm always coming up with all these ideas. And like, for me being an empath psychic, like, I can see through things sometimes. I can see it from the beginning to the end, like you were saying, follow it through. And I can see something, whether or not it looks like it can work. I process the whole thing in my mind. I play everything out. I throw all the scenarios that can go wrong. Can I still get through it? And if I feel confident at the end, I'm confident in it. I'm like, let's do it. I feel like we could do this. And that's what takes over me. It's
Mhm.
like, you could do it. And I'm like, oh, dang, I did say that, didn't I? Oh, but so I came up with stars. I heard stars at first. And I said, stars? That's so silly. Stars, really? And they're like, no, stars. And so I was like, well, what does it mean? And then the next day I finally heard it. It came through and it said spiritual teachings. But at first I heard techniques. It was like back and forth. Teachings, techniques, teachings, techniques. So I heard spiritual techniques, ascension rising school. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. But I'm certified to do quite a few things. I can train people to be teachers for quite a few things, hypnosis, meditations, Reiki. I could do a few things. But my thing is, I also want to bring on other teachers. I don't want to do this
Mhm.
alone. I definitely don't want to do this alone. I just want to get the ball rolling and have other people join in with me, because we're stronger in numbers. I'm here to collaborate with people. I am not here to be a one-man show. That is not the way. I'm here to stand with my team, and we are here to make shit happen. This is it. This is so as a suicidal survivor, they forced me to be here against my will to get the job done. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've got the Star School, I got the Cosmic Crusader School, but I want to know about your school. I want to know about your university because I'm so like amazed that I was like, oh, she put the university in there. I'm like, ooh, because I was afraid to put school. I'm like, no one's gonna think I'm a
Well,
school.
it's the Innerversity. So it all comes
Oh,
from the inner, and RISE stands for Rainbow Warriors Initiation into Service and Evolution. So
oh,
that's what RISE is. And it's a co-collaborative platform. It's not all about me. I'm still it's the foundation is set, and I'm still looking for teachers to come in and co-collaborate, but it has different tiers. So we are set up as a private members association. So it's like a private school, and it's $4 to join. That makes you a lifetime member, and it gives you access to the free school. There's a library inside. Again, like any information that I have come across, I put it inside of the library that people can access and go research. And I try to make it all search friendly. So after that, there's an enrollment to become a actual student, and that's I think $22 a month, and that gives you access to the courses online. You can, when you go through certain courses, and I'm in the process of packaging together like masterminds, actual, you know, from this school period, we're going to be focusing on this training, and you can get certified in this. But through the training of just becoming a regular student, you can work your way to leveling up, and that opens up different things for you to do on the platform. So through it, I have the Rooted Publishing House, which is our blog. And there became a period of time where I was actually putting out a quarterly magazine that people can write in, and that gives their advertisements done. They can advertise their service, they can write a blog if they have information to share. That can all go on the website, and then it also goes through all the marketing sequence of where I post it on social media. I get a lot of traction through Pinterest. So the longer you are a student, you can level up. That opens up all different things to help you in your business to get your information out there. The blog is just one of them. I'm changing the way that we do. When you go to a website or you're reading a blog and you have these advertisements come up, okay? So most of the advertisements that come up on mine are stuff that I wouldn't buy in the first place. Well, why not do advertisements for your services? Maybe you have a product that you want to offer. So inside of my blog, there's actual web advertisements, but they're self-made to people or students that are inside of Rise or help co-collaborate. It opens up to you offering different workshops that can be hosted inside, so that if there's other students that want to purchase your course or a workshop that you may be putting on, that it opens up to that services. So it's a really big, massive platform and database that I've been building and working on. The structure is there. This year is the year that I'm really promoting it to start getting the traction to get more people on board. So, but it's an actual university, and it's a esoteric mystery school of knowledge.
nice. I love that. That is awesome. That's funny. When I first was starting, I was like, oh man, I want to do a magazine too, you know? But yeah, are you going to continue the magazine again?
Yeah, I do want to continue the magazine. I had a great response of when I did put the first one out. This year, what I'm really looking for is a good team behind the scenes to help me because, like I said, I bring in human design. I'm a manifester, so I don't have the repeat energy that the generators do. It comes in one burst and then I go into rest mode. So what happened through the process was that I did burn myself out. I was not quitting when not taking the breaks, not practicing the self-care. That was a huge learning lesson for me. Not balance. I was letting my masculine run wild while I wasn't balancing my feminine and incorporating the two. So there's a whole training on that of what I've learned, but through my human design. But I do want to bring the magazine back out again because I really enjoy doing it. And I liked reading magazines. I don't read them much now today. Like I'm very picky at ones that I get or I subscribe to, but we need high vibrational stuff out there. And uh, it's I love the bringing joy on people to see they get so excited. I know I got excited when I was posted in my first publication. I got the magazine and I still have it and I thought it was like, just made me feel good about it. And then people can go put on their website as seen on, whatever, or you can read my article in here. So I like to bring that and offer that to our community. So
Nice. That is awesome. So you're looking for a team. We're looking for a team too. Dawn
yes.
is like, you gotta get her on here. She's so good. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love this. I'm trying to get all the people together so we can do our thing. So yeah, I'm super excited. Um, so the human design part, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
do you do that for people, like they come to you as a service? Because I know I had an idea. I was like, oh, here they go again. But have you ever done like how Rob does the live readings, but with like human design? Because I know a lot of people always wonder what they are and stuff, and I forgot what I was. Um, I'm a projector. What kind of projector? I forget. Yeah, so yeah, see, he doesn't know exactly. Well, can you tell me the difference in them again? Like, is there four different kinds? I can't remember.
There are 4/5 people try to associate. I do surface level human design readings. Um, I am still learning the process. What I do is through with my clients, how I pull in human design is really getting clear on your purpose here and how to navigate and what to expect when you're going through the journey. And then I have really good friends that can go into like answer those questions on why you are a particular way if you really want to dig deep into that. Because human design can tell you so much about yourself. The way that I like to describe it is that in any of the animal kingdom that we are looking at, we'll take bees, for example. Ants are like this. You have the queen bee, you have the ones that are the leaders of the tribe, the ones that initiate the movements of whatever is happening within the tribe, and that in human design would be manifestors. I am a manifester, so we are only 9% of the population, and we're here to impact others into movement. So uh manifestors, the different names of the different groups are basically the way that your aura is designed. So the next one would be projector. So if you are a projector, you're 30% of the population. And what projectors are the project managers of the tribe. So y'all are here to lead and guide. You're really good at looking at the information. Like you said earlier, you're able to take something from the beginning to go all the way through the end. So I'm pretty sure you have a lot of different things within that process to get to the end. So you're here to lead and guide the collective into the direction that they need to go. So the manifester comes in and impacts and gets shit going, and you come in and you're like, okay, then this is where this needs to go, this, and lead and guide the rest of the tribe, which the majority of the population is what's called generators or manifesting generators. But the thing about a generator is a generator is a generator. At the end of the day, they have the same strategy and authority. Their auras look the same. The only difference is that the manifesting generator has a direct line from the throat to an energy center, which allows them to manifest fast, okay? Because in the human design, the throat is the most important thing. This is where we do all of our creation. Everything happens internally until we speak it into existence, until we write it into existence. Some type of communication comes out of the throat, then that's where manifestation actually takes place. Other than that, if no one takes action, how do we know the radio was ever developed? How do we know any of this stuff was ever done until you take action? Other than that, it's just, sitting internally. It hasn't escaped into the reality. So generators are 70% of the population, 60-70% of the population. So they're the worker bees, they're the majority of the society. And then you have what's called a reflector. And a reflector is what they do is they reflect back the health of the tribe, whether it's in good working order and things are going well, and not so good, well, and the opposite, so they reflect back the health if it's working properly in the way that it is supposed to. And the deeper you dig into the human design about your specific type, you can start to pull up your partnerships, how you're working together as a team, what's happening at a higher level when that happens, what happens when your energies come together. I mean, all sorts of different things. But the I've been in my what is called your human design experiment. And that is after you have a reading, you learn about yourself and you just practice. This is where mindfulness comes in. I always say that anyone who's going to dive into human design also dive into mindfulness, because then you'll be able to witness it actually happening yourself. That will convince you, oh my God, there's something to this that's real. And I have been able, like, any time that I dig into myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so accurate. It's so real, especially about myself. Um, through what I have found through my human design, tied into the astrology. Astrology is as above, where human design is as below. If you want to know why a planet is certainly affecting you, like moon cycles. Sometimes some people are more affected than others. Well, if you want to know why, we can dig into your human design. And I bet you I can pinpoint what exactly you are going through in the moon cycle, and maybe what thoughts are coming up, what you may be repeating in your head if you're in an emotional wave, if it's lighting up more energy inside of you so you're not able to sleep. I mean, all sorts of different things you can dive into with human design. It's really the owner manuals to the vehicle that your soul is driving around. Every parent out there wants to know the handbook to their child. That's human design. You can recognize a generator child automatically. They're the ones that are just go, 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 and then they're silent. And you're like, what happened? And they just crashed, and they'll crash anywhere. They don't put themselves to bed. They could be go, 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 and then all of a sudden you'll find them just asleep on the corner or half off the couch or at the table, that sort of thing. They don't know. They only quit. They don't actually quit. They stop when they run out of energy. And then they
Yeah.
take a nap and then they wake up and it's go, 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 go. If
You
you're
know. Mhm.
if you're a projector, so projectors, manifestors, and reflectors, we don't have what is called a defined sacral center, okay? And that's what makes a generator. The sacral center, which is where sexual energy comes from, not that we don't have it, but the sacral center is the biggest generator in the human body. It's what produces most of the energy. We don't have it. So when we're not in someone's aura, we may want to take a nap. You know,
Right? Yeah.
we may run out of energy. So, depending on like your projector, you're going to be a little bit different than my energy from a manifester, just how it flows through our body. But each type is just like in any type of animal kingdom structure, even the plant kingdom. Animals have a human design, plants have a human design. Each thing does a different part to come together to create something as a whole. So, um and the
Wow.
difference in human design is the defined centers mean that the energy is more defined. It knows what to do. Where the open centers are, it's open. It's like I look at it as a megaphone. So the open center is the megaphone. The defined center is like the voice behind the megaphone. It's what's forcing. Oh, she's so pretty.
Look at the tail. Can you see that
Oh,
tail?
yes.
That is not a typical calico tail. Hi, baby.
She is pretty.
She's a little crazy girl. Wow.
So,
I've seen it done, and when I looked at the drawing, it could be a little bit like, whoa.
it
But
is.
once you explain it, the way the energy flows through the body, that to me makes sense. I'm a Gemini, so even though I'm a street girl and I dropped out of school, my mind wants to be intelligent and it works like a machine, but to get it through my mouth and come out, sometimes it doesn't always work that way. But you know what I mean? So yeah, and plus I've had so much trauma that it's just like trying to get this thing. It's like a jack in a box, my brain. It's like what was that? I I wind it up, and then if it pops up out of my brain, I'm like, oh, there it is. If not, I just have to keep rolling until. But my husband, we met this person, and he was all about human design. He was like so into it, and I remember he did ours, but I don't remember what the details were. And then my mother-in-law wanted to know. She's like, "What's your human design?" And so we did it again, and she was like, "Oh, okay." But then I still didn't know a whole lot about it, so I didn't know, like, is that good? Is that bad? Or is she just figuring me out? And I don't know my own self. So I
It's
definitely want to look into it.
yeah, I'll pull your chart when we get off. It's fascinating. It helps, like, it tells you about your environment. It'll tell you, which mine is spot on. The environment that I thrive in is called kitchens. Okay. And I can see this when I worked at the country club. This is where I was junk drawer Jennifer. I was doing so many different things, but I was in a place that allowed me to like when I had to decorate, I had all the tools to do this, like what do you do in the kitchen? You bring in all these ingredients to make something beautiful. And that's what my gift is. And so when I worked at the country club, which lo and behold, I started in the kitchen. So
There you go.
um I can see why I worked up to the position that I did and why I did really well. So that's the environments that I thrive in. But it will tell you stuff about your incarnation cross, which you're going to just automatically live out in this incarnation. And mine is dominions. So, what if we get biblical or we go through religious text, and you had said it earlier from your guides, we are here to take back our land, take control of dominion of what God gave us, which was the land, air, and sea. And
Yeah.
so when I was building Rise University, it was all about helping people build their dominions before I even knew that that was my incarnation cross. So it's
Wow.
something that I just inherently live out. Um, without even knowing, but now I can dig into it deeper through human design. But it is, when you first get into it or you're looking at your chart, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what is it that I'm looking at? And how it came in to the collective was by a guy, and I can never remember what his real name was, but he changed it to Ra Urahu, and it was a download from a voice that gave it to him, and he just started working all the information out what is the voice was telling him. And this started like in the 80s and into the 90s. He started training people to become human design readers, and since then, Richard Rudd is who I believe does the gene keys, and he trained under Ra. And the difference between human design and the gene keys is that gene keys is more of the divine feminine side, where human design is more of the masculine, structured, analytical side. But what Gene Keys is doing is really, and what human design is doing too, is that I'm reading your DNA, what makes you you, and what DNA strands are active, more active than other ones inside of your avatar right now. So it will answer those questions of like, um when you're by yourself, you're in your own energy, and you keep doing this tick thing, okay? And you keep asking your question like, why do I do that? Why do I always act that way? Or why do I do this when I'm talking to someone, when you're talking to someone and inside you're telling yourself shut up, but it just keeps coming, and you're
Yeah.
like can't get it to stop. Human design can explain why it does that.
Oh, you know what? I need to know because um I have been taken over a few times, let me just say. And I'm like, who said that? Who said that?
Yes.
Sometimes I hear it whisper in my ear. Sometimes I hear it clearly in my ear, like someone's talking in my ear. Other times it just comes right through my mouth. And I'm like, literally, like, what did I just say? And it's happened so much that it's really trippy. It's like, I didn't mean to say that at my husband's funeral. Oh my God. I know he took over me. I told everybody, I said, listen, that's not what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say that. I had a whole, so I knew exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that I loved him from the minute I met him to the minute I left him. But I said he cheated on me from the minute I met him to the minute I left him. And I was like, oh, and everyone's looking at me at the funeral, and I'm like, I did not, that wasn't what I was gonna say, that wasn't, it's gonna come out my mouth. And everybody was like secretly mad at me. And 3 years later, I'm like, listen, I wasn't going to say that. Something, I think he wanted it to be said. I think because he wanted to make it right somehow. And he was like, just let them know. and I couldn't, I was like, oh, I felt so bad afterwards. But they know me. They know that things come out of my mouth that just don't usually come out of my mouth. Since 2004, I gave myself over to God. I said, just take me. Because I just had, I had it. I had it. And I was like, you know what? I just want to be divinely guided. Everything I do, I want to pray about. I just want to be on that spiritual path and really live that spiritual path, trusting and having faith that you're going to be divinely guided. Because I have been through some rabbit holes. I thought they were a rabbit hole, it was a rat hole. And so I had to just trust that that wasn't going to happen anymore. And I went on the spiritual journey. I fasted for 5 months. I did all these things. I listened to the voices. I followed it. And I took a deep breath one day. I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to leave it, everything in your hands. Everything I learned from being a Christian, even though I don't call myself religious anymore, but I take my little bit that I learned from the Christian, I threw it up to God. And can I tell you, I have not looked back. And that was 2004 when I left my husband, my first husband. And I have been divinely guided. Everything that has happened to me has been for a reason. To everyone, I always tell everybody, it happens for a reason. You just have to wait to see what else happens. You're not going to get the whole story at once,
You
sugar
can't
plum.
handle the whole story at once.
You
And even if
cannot.
you did, you'd fuck it up.
Okay. Sabotage. Because when I
Yes.
met my husband, I knew that who he was, and I was fighting myself, and it hurt us both. When we would argue, we both were physically hurt and crushed. And I looked at him like, we should stop doing that. We don't need to do that. Like, we're not about that. Like, we don't need to argue and fight. He's got Yeshua vibes and I have Mary Magdalene vibes. So when we come together, it is a very powerful thing. So when I do my sessions and I get to talk to Jesus or Yeshua with when my couple of my friends, they'll tease me. They're like, Yeshua's there. He's loving all on you. And I'm like, oh, I love you too. Because I found out I'm a fractal of Mary Magdalene and my husband's a fractal of Yeshua. And so I had asked him when I did it, I'm like, are you sure though? Like, I'm like, were you this serious? Were you really? Because and he's a carpenter. He's so serious. He's just like him. I swear to you, he's just like him. And it's so funny. It's so funny because what happened was I was like, I had been done with it. I was turning 40. I said, I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. I want to give it up. That's when I decided to grow dreadlocks and start a spiritual. This is how I saw myself on my spiritual journey. Gray hair, dreadlocks, seashells, shaman. And it is like, the first thing I encountered was these two shaman Celtic witch doctor sisters, and I went to go see them for a healing. I paid $500 to see both of them. I didn't care how much it was. I was like, I need this for my soul. And can I tell you, it was mind blowing. And I had asked before I got there, like, I wonder if they're gonna tell me what my totem pole is, because I want to know what my totem is. And when I got there, she said, I wanted to know what your spirit animals were. So I did a reading before you got here. And I was like, oh. And she said, I've never seen a reading like this before. She said, first you had a swan come in, and the swan came in sideways, and then it went low down and it swooped down to the ground. And the way it landed, and the way it came in, it was telling me that you have 1 foot in one dimension and 1 foot on the other side. So I can see on the other side, and I can see here. She said, I've never seen it come in like that. And then she said, the next thing I saw was 2 salmon swimming upstream against the current. And she said it was me, like fighting my gifts or something. But then she said, but right after that, a raven flew in. And when the raven flew in, the raven said, it is time for your initiation. And I was like, what? Because I had always wondered, like, in my mind, I thought, I know I'm a shaman. I know I just want to be a shaman, but I don't know if it's really my path or my calling. And I had heard all these things before, and I just always felt like that should be my calling. And when she told me that it was, and that, I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. So crazy. And so sure enough, I found out in my past lives I was a shaman. I was a shaman witch doctor in New Zealand and in Peru, my most recent incarnation. So it's just you're seeing all these things coming back. I'm seeing these things coming back.
Yes.
And then I heard I was a fractal of Cleopatra. And I said, "Oh my gosh, what is going to happen to me?" And so here I am, like trying to figure things out, and I got to talk to her in one of my sessions because I wanted to talk to Cleopatra. So I asked her, and she said her message was, "You tried to save everybody in that life. Look where it got you. You didn't have enough energy to save yourself, and don't make the same mistake in this life. You are here to teach people how to save themselves." And then I
Themselves.
started
And that's
crying.
what the
I'm like,
shaman does. We don't heal you. We show you how to go through the journey of healing yourself.
wonderful. See, I've never had anybody explain that to me before. I just have been told, like, you're a shaman, you're a healer, you need to study. And so I got all these books and I'm trying to study, but I'm like, where's my teacher? Where's my shaman teacher? Like, I do my Reiki and I do my healing, but I work with the angelics, I do the alchemy with the angels. So I let them come in and do a lot of the healing. But with you just saying that, it just made sense because I'm like, yeah. So Cleopatra said, so I said, is that why my business, I felt the urge? Because I heard the name first, and then a couple days later, I got what it meant. I heard SOS QHT, and I was like, calling out an SOS, right? And then I was like, well, what does that mean? And the next day, I heard, or a couple days later, I heard saving our souls,
Mhm.
quantum hypnosis therapy. And I was like, and I just kept it. And then when I did that, when I talked to Cleopatra, I said, "Is that why I named my?" I got the name, the download SOSQHT, and she said, "Yes, because you are here to show people how to save themselves." So it's kind of like the bat signal, SOS, like calling out an SOS. But it's crazy. It is just so crazy the work that I do, It is just so crazy, but I feel like the future is going to be so amazing with all these teachers stepping up. I feel like we need to get closer. We need to band a little bit tighter together. I really want to see, how you see these big women supporting women groups and they're just like 10,000 K hardcore strong women. I want that for our spiritual community, for
Mhm.
the one that we like the ones that are here to really bring the light and not like the false light workers who still need their shadow work done, or I don't know what their deal is. But I want to. I keep asking, just bring me the people that I'm meant to work with, you know and
Mhm.
so, yeah, I will be talking to you about business stuff because I'm like, it's kind of funny because sometimes I'll manifest getting work and then sometimes I'll manifest like putting stuff on hold. And then I'm like, then my husband's like, you don't have a business, do you? You don't make money, you give all your sessions away. And I'm like, oh my God. So when you were like, people don't want to pay, they don't want to pay. But the archangels tell me, make them pay, make
You
them pay. It's an
It's the
energy exchange.
switch. So people can get trapped in, are you running a business or is it a hobby?
Right. My
And
hobby.
well, and
I'm
me
like,
too. I ran a hobby for very long period of time because my at the end of the day, where my heart is coming from, I would love to be able to give this away. But at the reality of it is that no, I cannot survive. Like, I
right.
wouldn't
Not in
be
this
able to
world.
right. And some people, yeah, I'm very fortunate that I do have family and everything like that, but they don't. So there has to be a balance in the container with everything,
Right.
if it wasn't in the form of money in a tribal sense, we would have to do something to be able to survive, trade skills or anything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely we're going to talk more because it's in the same alignment with me too. And I am witnessing a lot of shifts taking place on this planet, and women, especially, we need to learn to come together to heal that wound because there is a lot of competition. There can be a lot of jealousy. And just like you said, your download about taking abandoned buildings and making a school, that's also my download too. And I got so excited about it because we need more hands on deck. And I've
Yes.
seen a lot of people within the community, especially when it comes to ideas, they want to gatekeep that stuff. That's my idea. Well, let's get reality on all this stuff. When we're receiving the ideas, it's not coming from us. It's
Right.
coming from up above. So,
And not only that, they told me when one person gets an idea, 10 more people get the idea at the same time. So it's who beats it who gets to the finish line first when you get the download.
yes, but also you said it too earlier. You are asking for people who you're meant to work with.
Right.
You have a group of soul contracts that are going to gravitate specifically to you because that's once you need the mentor, the teacher will show up, and we
Right.
are the teachers. But our pupils are going to change and be different from each other, and vice versa. I've had mentors that I have paid for their services turn around and pay me because of what my skill set is. So, not one of us has all the answers, but it's just to where we are getting to the point as a collective to coming together and building something uh to help those that we know we're here to serve. And again, stepping into this role is one of the greatest tools that you will ever go through. It's one of the most amazing journeys because you have to work through all this stuff. Feelings of jealousy, feelings of insecurity, feelings of imposter syndrome, the perfectionism, the I got stuck in the learning, oh my God, no one's gonna hire me for my services because I'm not, I don't have enough certifications or I don't know. So I spent so many years just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. You teach where you're at. You're never going to stop learning. We're forever going to be learning and growing in this journey. And it's just getting out of your own way. I have there's been so many times on this journey where I'm like, Jennifer, I'm sick of your shit. Like get out of my way because ultimately what it is it's my shadow,
Mhm.
or my inner child needs to be healed. I've gotten a point in my journey where now I'm introducing somatic healing and healing trauma within the body, because no matter how much mindset work, self-help you have in your toolbox, your body is still going to be the first thing to react to a situation. And that is where all the shadow stuff and the ego come out to play, because it's the feeling that's inside of us that we don't like. But if you're not healing that, if you're not releasing that energy or that trauma, then it starts to manifest as disease. Me,
Right.
my hips. So my hips get stiff and I was like, what is going on? Suppressed anger. I'm a
Really
manifest.
recently? Has this been happening
Not
recently?
no, not well, not recently. I've been doing more stuff. It's sitting behind a desk too all the time
Right.
triggers it, not moving.
Oh,
But I am a manifester, so the not self-esteem for manifester is anger. And
oh.
when I was younger, especially in my teens, I had to go to anger management. And anger management taught me healthy ways on how to suppress the anger, but no
Yeah.
healthy ways to actually channel that energy out of my body.
Oh,
So I have the metaphysical anatomy book. So anytime an ailment comes up, a lot of the times it has to do with
what?
suppressed anger issues.
That's so cool. I didn't know they had a book like that. What?
Yes, you can find it on Amazon. It's fucking phenomenal
You
on
do you have
everything.
do you have on your school, do you have like all the books that you have too? Like for people to, is that book on your book of your site of resources?
I don't have a PDF copy, but I do
I mean
have.
like the name, like, listed
Yeah,
books.
I do think that it's inside of the library,
Uh-huh.
maybe in the health and wellness section. And then I also, they're affiliated links. So I'm affiliated with Amazon. So I'll put my affiliate link if anybody wants to buy a copy or not.
Oh,
Most of the stuff that I do recommend, though, I try to find a free PDF copy so that
oh,
people can access the book there and read it. And then
yeah.
I also have more books that I need to upload into the
Oh, wow.
library. So,
Yeah, I'm such an old-fashioned girl. I like a good book where I can touch it and color it and make my doodles on it. It's so funny. I have these crazy books. Um,
I do have that though started, to be honest. I
oh,
have a lot of books that will eventually go into a library itself.
oh, nice. Wow, that is so amazing. You are doing so much. Is this what you do all day, or do you also have like a 3D job too? Some of us have one
Yeah,
3D.
well, yes, so this is what I pretty much do full time. I do have a part-time job where I do lunch deliveries,
Oh, nice.
Monday through Friday. So,
Nice. So you're still in the kitchen, so to speak, kind of
somewhat, it's kind of like Uber,
out of
but
the kitchen.
easier. It's easier than Uber. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. That's awesome. Wow. Well, I'm sure we could go forever, but I guess this would probably be a good place for us to stop. I love everything that you're doing and your information. I'm so glad to find someone like you. I should have you meet Alexa. Alexa is trying to she's working for this guy that she's made like a billionaire out of or something, like a millionaire. Like she's just made him so much. She's just so she does like techie stuff too. And you know, I don't know, maybe with the two of you, I don't know, who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But she's kind of like doing that. She started with me. I did her website package. It was for like star seeds or light workers. And I was her first test run for like what you're talking about, like
Mhm.
doing spiritual stuff. So I think she wants to transition fully. I think she wants to leave like what she's doing and just work for herself or something. So I feel like she could be a good person for you to meet, because you've been doing
Yeah.
this for a minute, and we all can learn from somebody, and I'm sure there's lots of information that you could share. So I'm gonna message her on the back and let her know, like, I got someone that you should meet. She's really sweet. I love her. But yeah, she did my website. She's the first person that saw my webpage, and she was like, "Oh, it's so cute, but let me make it
Yes.
more professional." She's like, it's so dark in color. It kind of looks like my Red Moon logo. It was like black with the red and colors, and it was so pretty, but I guess it wasn't, but I get a lot of people that give me compliments on my website. So I do encourage people to definitely work with somebody who can understand your needs, especially in the light worker community. So I'm so grateful for what you're doing, and I can't wait to share you with my channel and people who come across this video, that they can check you out and stuff. So would you like to let everybody know where they can find you and how to
Yeah,
get a hold of you and all that good stuff?
yeah, absolutely. You can find me at join the rise, RISE, evolution.com, and that will take you to Rise University. So you can check out my website. It has all of my links, social media, the podcast. It's got all sorts of just information on there for you to go through, and how to go ahead and join if you want to become a lifetime member. That does give you like discounts. It's set up for people. The more active you are, you can get your own currency inside of it and use the currency for certain stuff. So
Wow.
It's I've spent a lot of work on that website. That's my
Wow. I can't wait to check it
mothership.
out.
So,
Yeah,
definitely check that out. And then you're speaking at the Full Disclosure
I
uh
am. Are you
conference.
going?
Okay. I'm the one that did the website.
Oh, right. Yes, you did the website. Yes, very
So,
nice.
I did the technical work on that. So, you
Wow.
definitely it's you if you guys want to check that out, you can go to fulldisclosuremovement.org and get your tickets, and then you can come see this beautiful lady speak at the conference.
Make sure you bring roses. No, I'm just kidding. Um, yes, that is so awesome. Yes, I'm going to be I need to get a hold of Brian so I can share the link because I want to be able to promote it on my radio show. So I'll tell you too, just in case you uh can help him with that. I don't know. Because he sent it to me, but I'll have to, Brian, if you ever watch this, I'm gonna contact you ASAP. But by then I'll have already have played it. But yes, no, I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and it's just like the next level for me. And
Mhm.
I'm so happy that Rob is coming, and I'm hoping Angel Lori comes because we have been doing some crazy stuff, and I really want to share it. I really want to share it and present it properly. I am going to be talking about like Akashic records and stuff. But I also want to slip in my Cosmic Crusader event there because, I told you we're a Star Trek team and we travel the universe and we have fun and we talk to aliens and we have med beds where we do healing. So it's like it's next level stuff right now. It's like, no, I don't know anybody that's doing this. It's kind of a little crazy, but I'm excited about it. Um, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of my Cosmic Crusader videos, but I'll send you a link. You can check
Yeah,
them
no,
out.
send me the links. I will definitely
Yeah.
check them out.
Yeah,
So,
let me know what you think.
I will.
Yes, I'll send you the one we did on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, we did a session. We started at 10 o'clock. We finished at 12 o'clock. Okay. Rob went to sleep. He didn't join us. On the ship, we were partying. We were getting ready to do the countdown. And I asked if Rob was around. Rob showed up on the ship. He was a lieutenant. He showed up in gear. And when he woke up the next day, he was freaking out. His stepper said he went like a billion steps off like damn near off planet. It showed on his uh
Um,
I call it
um,
a pedo stepper.
yeah, I know
The
what you're talking about. I can't pronounce it either.
but
Is
it
it
monitors.
pedometer?
Yeah, pedometer. I'm like pedometer. I don't know, but yeah, it's just the way it's spelled. But it's just so funny because it traced his steps, and that is like we're getting close to having real proof. When my sessions are pretty wild. In one of my sessions, and I'll wrap this up. I had one of my sessions. We had the higher self sneak in because we had went on a spaceship and during a past life regression, and they were a little bit low vibrational with their message. It was a little like, oh, like you guys, this is gonna cause controversy. And so as soon as it started, I knew I was like, oh, the higher self is gonna get me for this one. And I saw a shadow come in the back window and all of a sudden she's like, oh, the lights are bright. Well, what's this? She was on a spaceship. And so she's like, oh, the lights are bright. I can't see. Something's blinding me. She's going like this. And I said, okay, let me just back out of there. Let me call on the higher self. And as soon as I said that, the shadow came, it left, and then the higher self stepped in. And then I did a session with her the next week, and she was on another spaceship, which wasn't the same. It was different. They're different Anunnaki. And so I called in the higher self again. I got to talk to the higher self. I said, I have a question for you. Was that you that I saw that snuck in? And he started laughing. He was like, I've never been seen before. And I'm like, yeah, you were slipping. I saw you. He's like, I've never been spotted. We've never been seen before. And then in another session, I did, and with Angel Lori, she had seen Mother God. Sophia is her name, Mother God of creation. And I had called in her higher self, but Mother God shows up. And she's this flaming four angel diamond faced flame. and she's just exuding love and motherly. And so I asked, and Rob was interviewing me. Me and Rob did a live regression. I put Lori under regression. It was live on his channel. And so in the session, I'm saying, I believe it was live. I said, Rob, this is the mother of all of creation, our
Mm-hmm.
mother. And I said, is that right? And then there was a silence. And then Angel Lori started talking about something else. And then afterwards, Angel Lori says, go back and watch that video. Go back and watch that video. When you ask me if this is Mother God and you're talking to Rob, there's a silence, but in the transcripts, it says yes. And then when I heard it again, you can hear like a soft computer voice say, yes. So she spoke through the
Oh, wow.
technology and confirmed it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I started crying. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Mother God, I love you, I love you. It was so wild. So I've had like some weird things happen in my sessions. And Don, because he's connected to Archangel Gabriel, there's like an echo. There's like a second voice sometimes. It's really crazy. I mean, I don't know. We're getting on something here. There's things that are next level for me. I've been encountering some strange and really cool stuff, let's just say. So you should check out my videos and see if you're into it, you know. You never know. I take people back to play with fairies, fly with the fairies, swim with the mermaids. We've talked to sharks. We've been to the shark castle underwater. We've done some fun stuff, and I just love it. I love it.
I definitely want to check that out. So yeah,
Yeah,
send that my
I'll
way.
send you those links. Yes. Well, you know, it's been so wonderful having you. We're going to close this out for now. Hopefully I can stop it clearly so I can talk to you afterwards, but just in case if it doesn't, I'll connect with you on the back. I think we're a messenger on Facebook, right?
Yes,
We're
yes.
Facebook friends. So I'll just in case, warning everybody, because sometimes the Zoom does weird things. So with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed this as much as I did. I'm super excited. And I've done work myself up that I've gotten hot now because it was freezing earlier and I'm just like sitting in my shed sweating. So I think we'll call that a wrap. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Would you like to say any last words, any goodbyes, or
No,
anything
thank you
special?
for having me on. I loved having this conversation. I love talking to you. And yeah, I can't wait to see what transpires from this because we have a lot of things that are in alignment and it's time that we start stepping up to the plate. So, um, yeah, thank you again for having me on.
You're welcome. I always like to imagine, like, you know, because we came from the cartoons back in the days. I always imagine like Wonder Twins activate and boom, you know.
Yes.
So yes, so thank you. So everybody, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, follow. I'll put all the information in description when I air it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. Blessings and infinite love to every single one of you. And let's cross our fingers that I can stop this. If not, we'll just say goodbye. So let's see. Testing, testing. Yeah, it's not going to stop. Zoom, what's going on with you? Okay, so bye. I will talk to you soon. I will connect
Yes.
with you because we have got some unfinished business. I want you to do my maybe do you charge for that? Because I'll pay you to do my human design chart.
I'll
Do you
send you a link if you
charge?
want to do that. Yeah,
Yeah, I would love to. I would love
absolutely.
to. I love investing in myself, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
send you a link and then links to the other stuff we talked about.
Beautiful. Well, you have a wonderful night. I
You
enjoyed this
too.
so much, and we'll talk soon. So
Bye
bye,
now.
everybody. Bye. I gotta
Bye.
end this like this. Bye.